Great God day to you all. Welcome to the next video in the Lose Your History to Make History series. And this is going to be a lesson that you've heard me repeat over and over and over again. But I do want to repeat it today because we do have, our channel has rapidly grown to over 1,500 people. And I know that we have a lot of brand new audience members, so to speak. Love everyone. It'll be a great refresher, and I'm going to share kind of a newer story you haven't heard, and hopefully it'll make sense. But I've dealt with a lot of frustration in my life, a ton of frustration. And it was something that was really holding me back. I constantly thought, you know, this is how the world should be. And kind of became a slave to that, so to speak. And once I made the realization that to fully embrace the mystery, I needed to realize there was the world how I thought it should be, and then there was the world how it was, and accepting it, which does not mean doing nothing about it. But then asking myself, there's how I think it should be, which is where all the frustration was coming from. There was the reality of how it was, which is where a lot of frustration was. But then the third piece happened was I just started asking myself, this is how it is. Can I cast a loving light on it? Because once again, I want to multiply my gifts. But the path to coming to this realization literally came through a full year, day in and day out of prayer. I am a God believer. I believe God is love. And if you get offended by that, I feel for you, because if you're offended by love, this channel and no channel can really help you. You probably need deep psychological counseling. But I prayed to God for a year straight. God, I struggle with this frustration so bad. And I know I'm going to fall short, but I would like to see things through your lens, and God sees everyone in the loving light of how He created them to be. And in the span of 1 week, I had a man call me and scream at me ruthlessly. And one of the words on my eulogy is graceful. And as he was screaming at me, I asked myself the question, can you contribute to his hurt and yell back at him, or can you contribute to his healing? And I looked at that as a chance to enhance my gracefulness. And he actually called me the next day, apologized, and he said, how are you so graceful? Okay, it was on my eulogy list. Okay, so what I'm angling for you here for is to write out the 10 characteristics that you will be remembered for. Once again, DLI has created a worksheet with this. We do lots of worksheets with businesses, workshops, and we come in there and we enhance their culture by having them all write their eulogy. It sounds weird, but it's a very quick fix, because if everybody just lives out their 10 words, they're really changes things. So then that week, my wife and I got on a plane to go to a wedding, and a lot of the people at the wedding are heavy boozers, and that's not my thing. I mean, I always say, if you think you were created with a need to numb yourself to relax, you're going to be plenty relaxed when you're in the coffin, and you got to learn to deal with that with healthier techniques. But I was sitting at my table, drinking my seltzer water, and this man who's a notorious heavy hitter came up, and he seemed to be very inebriated. And he goes, I've been thinking about you a lot in the last year, man, and I want to tell you, I gave up the vodka. I gave up the beer. And I said, oh, that's great news. You got 2 little kids, and it's not healthy for little kids to see their parents hitting the booze hard. It's a very poor example. I thought this internally. And I was very happy for this guy. Then he actually told me at the end, I gave up all the beer and I've replaced it with vodka. But for the first time in my life, I didn't feel any judgment towards this guy. And I just wanted to go over and hug him and love him. And then I realized it was in that moment that God answered my prayer. And he said to me, son, you write out your eulogy. And every situation that occurs in life, you will see that it's simply me practicing Romans 8:28, which is God works everything into a pattern for good for those that love him. And the pattern for good that God was working all of these situations in was that it was helping me be more of who I say that I am, because I don't want my life to be a lie. And then the bigger realization was at that point was that God does give us free will, because people always want to know why there's evil in the world. And I agree, it's tough. But people having a dark side is what makes morality possible. Love couldn't exist without the opposite. Otherwise, it wouldn't be love. And that was when I made the realization of what I wanted to share in this video, to write out your eulogy, look at it every day and at night, to look at all of the situations that came up during the day, and you'll see that they all happened for you to help you become who you were created to be. That greatest version of yourself who's lost their history to make history. So the lesson here is to lose your history and make history. You've got to come to a place, not live from a victim standpoint, and realize life is happening for you, not to you. It's helping you to become the best and not bitter. Please hit like, subscribe, and share. We love you all.